All right, let's have a little look at the breakdown of marks for the question 1 exam on the 2023 Junior Cycle History exam paper. So the question total was worth 57 marks, and this can be broken down into 18 marks for answers that were in the sources, okay? So the answers are there, you just have to find them. And then the remaining 39 marks was for like information that you would have studied in class. All right, so here's question 1. It says, during the period 85 to 370 AD, Vindolanda was the site of a Roman fort near Hadrian's Wall in the north of England. It is now an important archaeological site. Look at the photographs of 6 items found at Vindolanda and answer the questions which follow. So we can see we have 6 sources here, so we have 6 pictures. Our first question is match each item with the correct photograph number, okay? So these 18 marks, and again, you're not going to know they're 18 marks because it doesn't say 18 marks on the paper, but these 18 marks are here for you to collect, to gather, okay? So you study each item and match it with the correct one. So our lady's shoe, okay? Our iron key, our wooden writing table, our human jawbone, including teeth, our bone sword handle, and then our leather tent panel. Okay, so there was 18 marks for this. It was 6 by 3, so you got 3 marks for each correct one. Okay, so our next question, question B, says what is meant by the term artifact? And there was 3 marks going for this. And this is a question you had to apply information that you learnt in class too, okay? So you needed to say something like, an artifact is a man-made object used by people in the past, for example, a coin. If you only gave an example, so if you only said, a coin, you only got 1 out of the 3 marks, all right? So it's really important that you answer the question that's been asked, and you've been asked to define artifact and not just give an example of it, okay? And again, to receive your 3 marks, you must refer to it being a man-made object or an object that was used by people in the past. Question C says, what information might an archaeologist learn from DNA analysis of the human jawbone? And there was 6 marks going for this. So you got 3 marks and 3 marks. So this means you needed to give 2 points to get full marks, okay? But it doesn't say that you need to give 2 points. So a general rule of thumb is, if in doubt, try to fill the writing space available, okay? Now, my 2 points that I managed to get in. So we said archaeologists might learn about the person's sex. They could also find out about what the person's diet was like. All right, so question D, it says name and explain 2 different methods used to date items found during archaeological excavations. So there was 12 marks going for this, okay? You got 3 marks for naming each dating method. So even if you couldn't explain the dating method, you do get some marks for naming the dating method, okay? And then you get 3 marks for each explanation, and the explanation is judged on a sliding scale. So you got 3 marks for very good, 2 marks for good, 1 mark for poor, and then 0 marks if it's incorrect. Okay, so let's look at some answers. So by stating the dating method, so carbon-14 dating, I'm getting 3 marks. Okay, so 3 out of 12 marks. Then my explanation. All living things absorb carbon-14. When that living thing dies, the carbon starts to slowly leak away. The levels left then can be measured and used to determine age. All right. Our second dating method is stratigraphy, okay, or stratigraphy. And again, you get 3 marks for that. So you get half of your marks just for naming the 2 dating methods. Then the description of the method is soil is made of many layers. The newer layers are closer to the top. If something with a known date, like a coin, is found, then objects further down are likely older and objects above that are likely newer. All right, so far all the questions have been kind of about archaeology, but we see here that they're bringing in information from a different topic, from a different chapter. So I suppose don't let that kind of throw you. So our question is, name the ancient or medieval civilization you've studied for your junior cycle history course. Describe 3 important achievements of the civilization that you have studied. And there was 12 marks going for this. So you got 3 of your 12 marks just by naming your ancient or medieval civilization, and in this case we're going to go with ancient Rome. Then the remaining marks were 3 by 3, so 3 marks for each of the 3 achievements. So you got 3 marks if it was very good, 2 if it was good, 1 if it was poor, and 0 if it was incorrect. Okay, so our achievements, our first one is European languages. The Romans spoke Latin. This language spread to conquered areas like Gaul. Many European languages have Latin as their root language, for example, French, Italian, and Spanish. Now, our second achievement, new cities were established as part of the Roman Empire, for example, Paris. These cities often have wide, straight streets as a feature. And then our third achievement is architecture. Many Roman buildings and structures still remain, for example, the Forum, or you could say the Colosseum. Features of such classical architecture served as an inspiration during the Renaissance and afterwards, for example, the use of pillars and columns. Okay, so our last question. In your opinion, which of these achievements had the greatest impact on later history? And it says explain your answer. Now, the first thing is, yes, it says your opinion, so you can select, okay? But your opinion needs to be backed up by historical fact. So we have 6 marks going for this. If your answer was excellent, you got 6 marks. If it was very good, you got 4. If it was poor, you got 2. And if it was incorrect or irrelevant, you got no marks for it. So let's have a little look at our answer. So it says the impact in European languages had the greatest impact on later history. While French and Portuguese are based on Latin, English is not, but the English language does contain many words derived from Latin. Latin is also used by scientists when naming plants, animals, and insects.